I don't like Anakin Skywalker's commentary on sand. It's coarse, it's dull, and it gets everywhere. Anakin Skywalker's commentary on sand is like a conservative's commentary on Taylor Swift. Why are we talking about this if you don't like it? Why are you adding to the conversation? Why not? Okay, you don't like sand. Do you like mud? You don't like Taylor Swift. Do you like Reba? Carrie? Do you like music? Do you like rap? Well, what I mean, when people, it's understandable to not know what you're saying or to make a mistake in talking when you're under a lot of pressure, but people do this in a relaxed environment. They just talk aimlessly about stuff they don't like. And why? Now, one of the and even when we want to talk about stuff we do like, we want to talk about it in a way to put it over something we don't like. Or they'll talk about, oh, you don't agree with me because you're a hater or you're a bigot or whatever. And it's like, are you really? I mean, you may not agree with me, but or you may not agree with somebody, but does that really make them so annoying or so obnoxious? I think your commentary over what you don't like is more annoying and more obnoxious. So anyway, that's about as close to that as I want to say. I want to say this. What does it take for Patrick Mahomes to be the most successful quarterback or player in NFL history? What do you think? Well, he could do it this year. I think he's probably about a good 2 to 4 years away, as far as if you want to go by Super Bowl titles. But I think, like, let's say this: Patrick Mahomes this year could get to be most successful career of all time. He'll never be the he won't be the greatest player I've ever seen yet. Now that could change. I mean, that could change my mind. I could see something special out of this year or some sort of excitement or energy, and that could do it. But I think of like the greatest players I've ever seen. I mean, I've very rarely seen guys put an impact and just teach so many people with the way they play the game and use their game as a community empowering tool. And I've never seen anybody do it the way Ray Lewis has done it. So it's hard to get anybody to put me above that pedestal. Barry Sanders could be, Walter Payton maybe, another one. There's some others. I mean, you think of the greatest coach of all time. To me, it's Lombardi. It's not even close. In terms of social impact, maybe Paul Brown would be a second. And nobody modern in terms of the impact and how special they made the game. And it's hard to decide, well, who really made it into a glorious, inspiring venue the way I think football was supposed to be portrayed. It is a team sport. And so when you honor individual achievement or individual impact, then a lot can get taken away based on just being lost on numbers alone. but the numbers themselves are what matter in terms of their overall social success, or their overall success. And so the most successful player in NFL history, top two are almost unchallengeable, and that's Jerry Rice and Tom Brady. The best, I mean, that's a different conversation altogether. I just think guys, they can do things on the field. They can lead their defenses. They can lead their offenses. They just, I mean, as far as like best quarterback I've seen, pretty hard to get away from, even though he's not the most successful. It's pretty hard to get away from the idea of what Drew Brees has done for New Orleans, for his community, and for his team, hyping up both sides of the field. And you look at the Saints before and after Drew Brees, it's a night and day difference. It's kind of hard to argue anybody could be better than that. Peyton is one of the smartest I've seen. Well, why can't it be Brady? Well, it's not that I hate Brady or anything. I like him. I'm inspired by his story a lot. He's kind of a unknown guy coming out of college, successful. They gave him enough to give him a shot, but he had to work his way up, and that's impressive. He got the coach's ear, and he got their attention, and that's great. That's very hard to do in the NFL. And I'm glad the Patriots took a chance on him because we got to see a really special career. But there are just certain things that are just better. I watched this game as a fan, in part to be entertained, in part to be taught as a student of the game. I want you to show me how to work. I want you to show me how to be a leader, how to be a team player. This isn't just a collection of stats. I don't care to read the book of Numbers in the Bible over where the sections of how many grains of rice they collected or how many people in what tribe or whatever numbers they got. They got some mathematical figures that are just like, I got no use for that. I do have a use for the impact and making it mean something. So if you can explain what it means, then we can go to another level. But Tom Brady's still the most successful. I just don't care as much as maybe others do. Or at least not in the same way. The most successful quarterback can be overcome by new statistics. Think about this now. If Patrick Mahomes has an undefeated season this year, he'd be more successful, in my opinion, than Tom Brady. You may hate that, but Brady's never had that. In all the years he's played football, he had the 18-1 season. So if Mahomes gets 19-1, not only does he have one more win, he gets 19-1. Even losing the Super Bowl, I would have said, well, if he goes 19-1, but one of the losses is during the regular season, I would have said, oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Brady never did that. But now that I think about it, Brady never did it in an 18-game season. Mahomes can do that in a 19-game or in a 20-game. Or, yeah, I'm sorry. Brady did that in a 19-game season with 16-game regular season. If Mahomes can do that with a 17-game regular season, he'll have done something that Brady can't argue that he did. Even if it's the one loss, it's still that only one game you lost is not the Super Bowl. Now, that would be cool to watch. And we'd see this rising athletic quarterback whose team is built completely around the offense. It's not just, we had this quarterback and, we just found him like a piece of gold. No, I mean, the Patriots had to work to make Brady into Brady. He had to be disciplined, and he was. And he did a lot of great work, but Mahomes could be on another level. He's not there in terms of successful accomplishment yet, but his versatility, his improvisation, his mobility, and just the way he just intelligently uses the game and his competitive nature and his humility really is something to watch in action. I mean, how is it one of the fans showing up to the game as one of his teammates' girlfriends is getting more attention than this guy? And he's still playing like a superstar. It's because he's playing the game right. And he's not making too much of a big name out of himself. He's had problems with his families. He's had problems with people embarrassing him under his name, and things kind of falling apart around him. He's had problems with teammates that were like crybabying and want more attention or going to other places, and it just would seem like like the bridge might snap at some point. But even last year, I thought the Chiefs would have an off year, and they kind of looked like they were for a couple moments, and they still go on and win the Super Bowl. And I can't deny that he got some of the same help that Brady's gotten over the years, because that would be hypocritical. I mean, I've been critical of the help Brady has gotten from the league and refereeing and whatnot, even changing some of the rules. And Brady, I think, got a lot of help that was too obvious. Mahomes and the Chiefs do too, understandably so. I kind of understand. The NFL is not really as much a sports league as it is just a sports business. And I would hope I would not get tempted in the same way, but that'd be if I knew I could make more money and get more power, especially helping people in my business. It'd be kind of hard to pass up that temptation. And so, I mean, I think it's fair to show a little humility and say I might do the same thing in the same position that the league does. I think it's fair to say, and that goes for anybody's shoes. I mean, I've never been tempted to join a terrorist organization, but obviously others have been. Well, I grew up in a environment where radical terrorism does not incline me to that, to join an organization like that. I grew up in an environment where that would be strongly discouraged, but there are environments that is just not as strongly discouraged. So, to complain about how the situation came to be rather than just observe the situation, it just doesn't seem like a responsible thing to do. Mahomes is doing a really nice job. Brady did a really nice job, except for that last year. And that'd be another point of success, is if Mahomes knows when to walk out the door, when to treat people right, he continues to act right, behave in humility, he can be in a lot of ways better than Brady. But one of the things is this: if you want me to see the most successful career of all time, where it's unarguable, as far as I'm concerned, it could happen this year. It's a lot of work. It's really difficult to do it, but he's honestly getting a lot closer to Brady than people think, is my point. And This guy has, I believe, 3 Super Bowl wins. He's got, I think, well, let's see. He's got the AFC Championship appearance that he lost to the Bengals. And he's got the Super Bowl that he lost to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. So we're talking 5 conference championship appearances really early in his career. Something Brady didn't do this early in his career. And it doesn't undermine at all anybody's work. It just elevates Mahomes and Andy Reid and all the people around them to a level that we should take seriously. Now, even with all the help the NFL might give to somebody, there's still that aspect of they still have to put in the work, and they are. And that's why they're willing to help them so much, is because these guys are willing to do the work necessary to get to that level. It's not fake, it's just manipulated. And when people manipulate the situation, they're just giving into a temptation. Now, as fans, we want to see it. And if we just admit we want to see it, then we can kind of get to the next level and just go, hey, that's the way of the world. I mean, yeah, people cheat. They cheat in politics. I mean, are we really that surprised that the President of the United States is a plagiarizing lunatic with dementia, lying and being corrupt? I mean, he's been that way all his whole career. Why is it a shock now? Why don't we just embrace it, enjoy the show, and, I mean, we can change our vote if we don't like it, move on. The president is a blow-hearted lying bully, screaming and, stirring up people, causing trouble. Well, is that a shocker? Haven't presidents been doing that for a long time? I mean, not like this. No. This is pretty much par for the course. And yet there's still people. And I don't have one bit of evidence to suggest that we're not going to be okay by just being supportive and encouraging and pushing for success, regardless of who gets a taste of that success in the process or why. So Mahomes does surpass Brady as the best quarterback ever. What does that mean then? Or the most successful ever? It doesn't mean anything. It means Mahomes is doing a good job. That's it. Mahomes is getting great results. That's it. It doesn't mean other guys aren't putting in the work. It doesn't mean that other guys should get ignored. It doesn't mean that we have to forget how hard others have worked. In fact, the fact that they do get forgotten or they do get kind of buried underneath only means that we have more reason to give interest to their story and find out more about it so we can tell more people. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Justin Herbert right now could be on his way to a renaissance in his career and changing everything. There's all kinds of exciting stories that could happen next year. And there's all kinds of people that can do incredible things. We don't know how Jared Goff is going to play next year. We don't know how Brock Purdy's going to play next year. I just know it's worth getting excited over it. And one of the people to get excited about should be Patrick Mahomes. Let's see what he does next. But he's not 5 years away from success as much as people might think. He's a lot closer. This game is a lot smaller than you think it is. And that's one of the reasons why next year is going to be so special and so exciting. So just get ready, enjoy the game, and relax.